Howdy folks, doing a quick little fun project tonight that a few of you may be interested in. Finally going to be making a proper charger for 18650 lithium cells. These came with a flashlight we just recently purchased. The flashlight uses 3 cells at a time, and it also came with this garbage little charger that only does 2. So there's the first problem. It takes forever to charge, and one of the cells is actually being overcharged all the time, almost up to 4.3 volts. Very bad for lithiums. As we know, 4.2 is the maximum you should get these to, and I even want to go lower than that, and that's the beauty of using a RC computerized charger. You can, program the maximum charge voltage, and I think I'm going to set these to a maximum of 4.1, maybe even 4, because when you charge these, they're sitting in the flashlight then for who knows how long before you drain them down. And you never want to store lithiums fully charged. It's bad for them. It'll reduce their life substantially. So I just bought one of these little 18650 battery holders or cases. This holds 4. You can get them in different numbers, but 4 is the largest I could find. You can, you could even hook more of these together in series. We're just going to be wiring it in parallel and then putting a 2 wires off the side with 4mm bananas to plug right into the charger, and then we'll just go over a charge sequence, see how we calculate all that. So let's get started. I'll link to a holder down below in the description if you're curious where to get these, what they're worth. They're really cheap. I think this was a couple of bucks, so yeah, you don't have to spend much. So like I said, we're going to be wiring these in parallel, so all the positives will be wired together and all the negatives. I'm just using some solid core wire here. Let's strip the insulation off. This is 22 gauge. We're not going to be passing huge current through this. 18650 cells. Most specs say to charge them at half their capacity, so 0.5 C. So if you've got a 4000 milliamp hour cell, you would be charging it at 2 amps max. So if we had 4 all in there, we'd be passing 8 amps through this. So not much at all. So we'll just solder these real quick. So I just wrapped the one end with a little hook and the other end. I'll solder that on the pin. I'll just do the one side so you get an idea of what I'm doing here. Nothing exciting. I think I should have my soldering iron turned up a little bit. A little too cool here. Okay, so those are all wired in parallel now. I'm just going to make sure I know which side is positive. So positive is up here, so we'll just make sure that we know this is the positive when we solder our wire in. Now as far as wiring goes, I've just got some silicone 16 gauge here. We're not going to be passing much more than 8 amps, 10 max through this, so even this is a little bit overkill, but we've got it. We're going to put 2 bananas on the one end, solder this directly onto this little board. You could, if you didn't want to do that or you didn't have any banana plugs, most chargers come with a set of these things, the alligator clips with the bananas. So, you could alligator just do as simple as this, and you could do that, but it's not very permanent, right? And then you risk these popping off. There's short potentials. If you had some wiring with bananas already on the end, you could use that, which we've got here. This is actually too thick though, 12 gauge. So that's why I'm using this, but use whatever you can find, right? This is not critical or anything. So we'll just do the one real quick so you get an idea. I've already tinned the end of this wire. We've got our positive and negative. Decide which way you want the wires coming out. Positives at the top, negatives here. I think I want the wires coming out on the left side. So I'll have them shooting out this way. Trying to get everything in frame here. Hopefully it's all staying in focus too. Nothing exciting. Okay, we'll get the other side done. Okay, so we've got the positive and the negative soldered on. There's these, I was just going to have them coming out the side like this, but there's these little channels in here you could tuck the wire into, and then you could have it coming out on these two little tabs. You have to just remove, I just notched this little piece of plastic out. So the idea is we'll have the wires coming out kind of like that. Just a little neater, I guess. And you know, you could mount this on a board or something. There's these little holes that you could screw it down to something. I'm just probably going to put some Kapton tape over the back or something just to insulate the wiring and the pins. Not the prettiest job, but it works. Just put 2 layers of Kapton over these. I just knocked the sharp edges down with a Dremel sanding drum just so nothing could poke through the tape, but you could insulate it however you want. Now I'm just got to put the bananas on the end. I've got one on here. Just do the other one. So strip, I don't know, about 8 millimeters of insulation off your wire. These particular bananas, they're super easy to do. You just better put the end on first. So you just put the little insulating end on, you slide the wire through the hole, and then you just wrap it clockwise, so when you screw this on, there's a little lip inside this, and it pinches it nice and tight against the top of the banana. Now there's different types of banana plugs. You know, there's these are off. These are common. They've got a little screw that holds the wire. So again, use whatever you've got handy. Now let's see about programming this. I'm just going to move the camera a bit here. We'll plug our little holder here into the battery charger. So negative to negative, positive to positive. And I just used a Sharpie to put some positive symbols up here, just a little bit easier to see. There are some molded into the plastic, but yeah, just a little more idiot proof, and I need all the help I can get in that department. Throw our 3 batteries in, and before we actually start charging, I said I was going to reduce the maximum charge voltage from 4.2 down a little bit lower. So this is with this specific iCharger. Most are going to be the same though. So you go into your settings menu, enter, and we want to go to LiPo termination voltage. And you just scroll through all the different fields, but there's a lot of them. But LiPo termination voltage. Now you don't have to do this, but like I said, this is in a flashlight, so I don't want these sitting fully charged in a flashlight for days on end. Having them at a lower voltage is going to prolong the life of the cell. So you just hold the start button in for several seconds until that number starts blinking, and we're just going to dial it down. We're going to go down to 4 is as low as you can go for LiPo. And I'm going to hit start. So now these cells will never charge above 4 volts. Just remember that if you use this for your RC batteries as well, you're going to have to change that. So that's the only caution there. And now we are going to go into our LiPo battery. Hit start. So we're into our lithium battery program. We don't want balanced charge. We just want normal charge. This isn't, we're not balancing. These packs or these cells are all in parallel. So as far as the charger knows, this is just one 1S pack or one 1S cell. So there we go. Charge, and now the current. Okay, to know the charging current, like I said, 1/2 the capacity. Now these cells say they're 9,800 milliamp hours each. I don't believe that for a second. This was not an expensive flashlight. They probably put the cheapest batteries they could find in with the kit. And if these are any more than 3,000 milliamp hours, I'd be surprised. The only way to tell, of course, is, you know, just take Just have one in there, do a discharge cycle on here, and then do a full charge cycle and see how much capacity this takes. But I'd be surprised if they're over 4,000. You know, that's the norm for most 18650s. So let's assume they are 4,000. So 3 of them, that would be the equivalent of a 12,000 milliamp cell in here. And if we go half of that, we're looking at 6 amp hours. So 6 amps would be our maximum charge rate. So we're at 6 amps right now. And the only other thing is to make sure we've got the cell count correct. It's not a 2S. This is very critical. Make sure it is 1S, because if you've selected a higher cell count, you're going to be putting way more voltage in these than is safe, right? So 1S, very important. And then we'll hold the start button down to start the charge cycle. And these are probably fairly already charged right up there because, yeah, and they are. So already they're at 3.99 volts, and the current has dropped way back. It's nowhere near 6 amps. It's already dropped down to 1.6. So basically just filling the last little bit of them up. And, you know, that's the other nice thing. So safe, right? RC battery chargers are so safe. They monitor voltage, current. You could even put a temperature probe in here and monitor the temperature if you wanted. These should never be getting warm when they are charging, just like any lithium chemistry. And yeah, that's about it. A couple of last thoughts to finish up. The first thing I noticed, at least with this holder that I got, the cells are really tight in there. There's a lot of spring tension. So I just, you know, take some pliers and just compress the springs a bit. You know, don't go Magilla on them, but if you do that, then you know they're not nearly as tight and a lot easier to take in and out. And because we are using a computerized RC battery charger, you could keep your cells at storage voltage, 3.85 volts per cell. This has got a storage function. It will discharge the cells down to storage if they're above. So another way just to keep your 18650s happier. And the other thing I like doing, as most people know, is recording the internal resistance. And most good RC battery chargers have that function. Just go into special modes here, enter, and we want to go to measure internal resistance. Hold the start button in. And the internal resistance they're showing of the cell is 135 milliohms, and I just write that on the battery. And that's just a good way to gauge the health of your cells, if you want to do that. You don't have to, of course. Anyways, I hope that gave some people a few ideas. If you've got these 18650s and you're into RC and you've already got an RC, computerized RC battery charger, you could just get these cheap little holders and, you know, maintain your 18650 cells that way instead of relying on garbage cheap little chargers that come with most of them. Cheers folks, happy charging.